We're here at Earls with Richard Daley, and a few short days ago, Earls came up with a big announcement, and probably not the greatest announcement that was ever made in the history of Earls in Lethbridge.
Perhaps not, yeah.
And you're kind of paying for it right now. Let's go back to that announcement, talk about it, and the kind of impact that it has had on your business here in Lethbridge.
So the announcement in itself wasn't bad. I mean, the customers have told us for a long time that they didn't want antibiotics, hormones, or steroids in their food. We've been outsourcing products like that for, I don't know, as long as Earls has been around.
Sure.
We've consciously sourced, you know, the highest end product we could ever put our hands on. And they started experimenting with steak of that nature with a company called Aspen Ridge in northern Alberta. Put it into test stores. It ran very, very well, got fabulous consumer acceptance, and the company made a decision that they wanted to take it to the whole chain. Unfortunately, the Canadian beef industry is not as far along in the procurement and availability of that product as they are in the States. And we were faced with the fact that we couldn't get enough supply to feed all of our restaurants. Okay. And so the company made a decision to go stateside, go to Kansas. And that part of the decision certainly did not play well in Alberta.
Because Alberta apparently has beef.
Alberta does have beef.
Yeah.
Maybe 1 million head of cattle on feed in Alberta, 500,000 right. within a 30-mile radius of this restaurant. Oh, yes.
So when you first heard that, because this is a corporate announcement.
Correct.
You have no choice.
No choice.
So they make that. Are you like I saw it and I said, what the hell are you thinking?
Yeah.
And I know that you came on and said, listen, this is what happened. I'm sorry, but this is what we're going with. But you must have been saying you were terrified.
Same thing. Yep.
Because I'm thinking you knew right off the bat this was wrong.
Well, I knew that by going out there and publicly announcing it and making a big deal about it, that the reaction was going to be very negative. Mm-hmm. I understood that right off the get-go. Sure. And I understood that, you know, the reaction in southern Alberta was going to be pretty negative. Did I think it was going to be as negative as it has been? I honestly didn't think it would be as negative and as, you know, dreadful as it has been.
Because you've been down basically like 30% since the announcement. Yep. People have boycotted you. They have websites say boycott Earls.
Oh yeah.
And you know, I understand their sentiment, but at the same time, you're a local business. You've been here for 28 years. You give back to the community all the time. You employ over 60 people here. This has a big impact on you personally and for people that work for you. And you made the ethical decision to say, okay, we understand what's going on here. We will go back to Canadian beef, which is what you've done.
That's correct. Okay. I mean, it definitely has an impact on the 63 people that work in this restaurant. There's a lot of college and university students. There's full-time people. We have, you know, families. We are a small business in southern Alberta, have been here for 28 years, have supported every charity and, you know, everything that's been out there we've been a part of, and we call this community home. My son was born here, you know, my daughter grew up here. I mean, this is home for us. Yep. So it's very personal when those customers that you thought you knew well have taken this decision and taken it out on you to a certain degree. Yeah. Maybe not fully understanding the impact of their vote by not walking in the door has had on all of us. Serious impact.
But it is a mea culpa here. You are going back to the Canadian
We will have Canadian steaks in this restaurant today. Ground beef will follow shortly. The company has realized through consultation with the consumers in the beef industry that, it's more important to have Canadian beef maybe than anything else. And we are going to great lengths to get that product back in. It's just not that easy. You just don't turn a switch. You don't go to Safeway and say, okay, I need this, this, and this. We have 65 restaurants. It's a lot of product. There's a whole supply chain program. It's very complex.
Yeah. You had a couple of people, members of the Alberta beef community came to your store to have a discussion. And some were angry, but some actually kind of understood what you were going through too.
Yeah, I have personally talked with quite a number of feedlot operators. Yeah. And we've had discussions. They've come to me, and I respect and appreciate the fact that they have come and we've discussed it. They have their views, we have our views, obviously. You know, there's a certain segment that understands that the consumer is demanding this more and more and more, and particularly the younger consumer.
Right.
You know, the whole organic, where is my food coming from, what is in my food, the whole aspect of, you know, farm to fork. Those are growing trends, and those trends are not going away. Yeah. And so, you know, all of us in all aspects of the industry have to be able to come to terms with how do we do this to satisfy the consumer, because it is the consumer who is paying the bill.
Sure. You had some, I guess the word might be some radical people sort of saying, are you terrorists? Like, I can't believe that it got to that point where they're thinking that you're supporting some form of terrorism.
Yeah, it's very unfortunate that you know, people don't do their total research, that they just take what's thrown out on social media and say, well, you know, this is all about halal and terrorists and Muslims, and that's so far from the truth that it's not even funny. I mean, if you want the real truth, there are meatpacking plants in North America that have a Muslim cleric and a Jewish rabbi, both bless all the animals that go through. Yeah. Once the program is done and the product is there, if you want halal, they go to the sticker cabinet and they put a sticker on it, because it's all been blessed. Right. So that whole aspect, if it just really got blown out of proportion.
That one must have got to you.
Yeah, well, just because it was so completely and totally false. Right. And yet people picked up on it and really hung their hats on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so starting today, you got the Alberta beef. What's your message to all of the people who have come to Earls all these years, the ones that have gone away and said we're never coming back to Earls? Well,
I think the message is that you have accomplished what you wanted to accomplish. You know, the call was to boycott Earls, to make change happen. You boycotted Earls, change has happened. As a company, we have made the decision to go back to Canadian beef. We have Canadian beef in our restaurant today. So what you set out to accomplish, you have accomplished. Yeah. So the goal is done. Game is won.
So good on you.
Game is won. You won the battle. Yeah. So, you know, come back and let's support each other, and let's carry on. This is a community, we support each other. That's the way it should be.
It's not like you've been here for a month and a half and you're saying I'm gone. 28 years. You've gone through let's see, smoking and non-smoking.
Yes.
Getting into the parade late.
BSE.
BSE. That's right. You found a I Support Alberta beef sticker from in your
exactly. I mean,
so this has been probably the worst thing that's ever happened to your business.
Without question, this has been the most trying, emotionally draining. This has been Okay. This has affected us more than any other single thing that's ever happened, period.
All right, well, let's turn it around. Okay,
absolutely.
Let's go have a hamburger, steak, and whatever. All right, good?
Sounds good.
All right, let's do this.
Thank you.
Where's the beef? Okay.